Once upon a time, Chris called Dan and said, "I'm having an idea." When Dan got over his initial shock and horror, he agreed to hear Chris out. Suddenly, a podcast was born, and somehow I was suckered into recording the intro to give them a little bit of legitimacy. And so, here we are. Welcome to the Dan and Chris Save the World podcast.
The Dan and Chris podcast has been fortified with 6 essential vitamins and minerals. Please use only as directed.
Be careful operating heavy machinery while listening to this podcast. If you are pregnant or may become pregnant, please consult a physician before listening to this podcast.
No animals were harmed in the creation of this podcast. For best results, open your mind and smile while listening. Continued use of this podcast has been known to cause hilarity in certain individuals.
Proceed at your own risk.
Ready that you're ready?
I'm ready that you're ready. Are you ready that you're ready that I'm ready that you're ready that I'm ready that... I think it's gone on too far.
I think we've gone too far, Dan. Dan and Chris Save the World, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Wait. Hang on. No. We're out of practice, aren't we?
I know. It's like we haven't done this in a couple weeks.
It's been a few. We're used to doing every other week, not every other month. There's a difference.
We've only skipped one time, right?
We missed one
time. Yeah, so it's not as if it's been months.
Well, okay, but I can be exaggeratory. I'm a writer. You're a writer.
Exaggeratory?
Exaggeratory?
Well,
Is that a new word? Now, I was told by my advisor when I was an English major, my junior and senior years, that as an English major, I am allowed to create or condone the creation of new words at least a couple of times a year. And I said, how many words a year can I do? And he goes, well, what's your GPA? And I said, I told him, and he goes, okay, you can authorize 1 word per point of GPA. And I'm like, wow. He goes, yeah, you got screwed, didn't you? Not that many. I'm like, no, come on, I can get a couple in.
And if you can tell the meaning by the context, it's a good word. So I knew what knew what you were talking about. So I guess it's a good word.
There you go. So I got to start our podcast off with my usual question. How are you?
I am doing okay right now. So
yeah.
I'm on my off week of chemo. So
okay.
But it's been getting harder each time. So
yeah.
But I am entering my last round of chemo, so that is a good thing. So
good.
If I've survived up to this point, I can survive one more round, even though the last week might be hard. I am expecting it though, so it's been going gradually worse, and I felt like crap last week.
Oh yeah, so I could tell.
Yeah, and I was very snappy and very short tempered and very whatever. But it's my last week, and after a week off it, I should be better. So 2 more weeks, yay!
I'm crossing my fingers for you.
Yeah, I got my drugs here ready to go.
Woohoo!
I have like literally like about 7 different pill bottles on my desk.
Oh, Jesus.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds. No, 7. No, I got 6 prescription and 1 just like Tylenol.
When did we suddenly hit the age where taking care of our health became part of our full-time jobs?
Well, the plus side is I'm only taking 1 of them.
Well, that's good.
A lot of them are there just in case. So I mean, I got a couple different ones, or actually 3 different ones for nausea, and then I still got my super painkillers from my surgery, which I never needed. I've used a lot of. I've at least used a little bit of most of them, but most of them are just the chemo pills that I'm using on a normal basis. So I haven't had a need use all these different wonderful pills.
Well, in the next couple of weeks, I've got several little procedures and visits myself. I've got something for my teeth because I have a couple of bad teeth that I have to deal with. I've been dealing with dental issues most of my adult life. I've got my colonoscopy, inspired by you telling me to go get it. Yep. That's coming up in July.
When's your colonoscopy?
The 15th of July.
Oh, I have a CT scan on the 20th.
Nice. I'm going in for an ultrasound of my kidney on the 9th.
Woohoo! Party on.
When did we get so freaking old?
I meet with my surgeon on one of those days in the 16th or something like that in there, and yeah.
Oh yeah, and my cardiologist doesn't want to see me anymore because apparently I've been rowing steadily and adjusting my diet and cutting down on my salt and increasing fluids and stuff. So the heart flutter that I was dealing with on and off for the past couple of years, it's starting to fade into nothingness. I still get it once in a while,
but that's good.
He said, well, just, you got to keep taking care of yourself. I'm like, all right, cool. So at least I was able to, quote unquote, fire my cardiologist for the time being.
That's good, though. So
and nice. And I'm just like, when the hell, when did we become old men? That's because I hear these conversations amidst grandparents and things like that. Not, we're too young for this.
This is our midlife here, and we got to shift gears and get our bodies in order for the next 50 years.
There you go.
So this is our pit stop here.
Right. So there you go. Nice way to look at it.
Our pit stop is to okay, let's get all these things fixed up. Let's get rotate our tires and and do whatever, gas up and get ready for the next 50 years here. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
But that works.
Yes.
That works. And of course you have to make the obligatory. Hey, she can rotate my tires anytime. Yay!
Yeah.
Well, let us call unto order the mass, the first official mass of the Church of the Wandering Dudes.
Oh yeah. All hail the.
And I want to point out to our buddy James Bourne, our meme lord. He is spelled it on a couple of the memes that he's made as the wandering dudes. Like, we're wondering where the hell Wonder Woman went. It's wandering, as in we're aimlessly trudging along the trail and having a great
wandering dudes.
Oh yeah, well, that's what we would call the conclave of cardinals. The wandering dudes.
The wandering.
Oh my God!
Is there a word we could put in there? The wandering. Why?
Wild. Yeah. Anyway, but it was hilarious because the day after we recorded that last episode, I was in the office, and my boss's boss, the manager of our department, who I've known my entire career with the city, he was my first direct supervisor and everything. He and I become good friends over the years, and I could tell that he was not stressed out, but he was definitely quieter than usual. So I decided to give him a kick. I figured I would just kind of give him something to laugh about. I said, hey, my best friend and I were talking, and we've decided to create our own religion. And he's like, oh, he started laughing right off the bat. He goes, oh, I can only imagine it. I go, and we have but 2 commandments. And he goes, let's hear him. Preach to me, brother. He goes, tell me what they are. And I said, don't be a dick. And he was laughing his ass off the moment I finished the sentence. And he caught his breath, and he goes, and the other one? I said, go do the thing. And he raised his hands like duh, like that's a duh move. He goes, I've been telling my grandkids this their entire lives. Have no fear. Go forth and have adventures and do things and explore things.
And don't be a dick when you do it. Yeah.
And don't be a dick when you do it. And he goes, and then what did he say to me? He goes, well, are you going to make it official? I said, I don't know. We were laughing about it. It's more of kind of like an in joke. And he goes, you go upstairs to the city clerk's office, you fill out the paperwork, and you become an official religion for like a small fee. And I'm like, holy crap, we really could.
How small of a fee is it?
I don't know. I didn't look into it. I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to get up to the clerk's office in the past couple of weeks. But I will do that, because I will explore that, because that just sounds like entertaining.
We need a logo drawn up now. We need to have our symbol there.
Yes, our symbol.
Our symbol. Our symbol too. And put a patch on our clothes and.
You can't insult us. It's called religious persecution. Anyway.
Oh, geez.
Book 1, The Church of the Wandering Dudes.
You're not trying to say wandering.
Yes, well, that's that too.
Wonder.
And so we have to come up with our own creation myth, apparently.
We have to have a myth, too. Myth.
Yes. Sorry, I have a cold.
No, we believe in evolution in our
yes,
in our
we
church.
do.
Yes,
we believe in evolution. We believe in science. We believe in.
We believe in her blinding me with science. She blinded me with science.
We believe in philosophy as long as you're not using it to judge and hurt other people.
Right. As long as you're not being a dick with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, it works. It works with pretty much anything. It's a very simple concept. It's kind of like the New Testament. Doing love your neighbor as yourself, and this is kind of don't be a dick.
Right.
Simple.
Golden rule.
Yes, our golden rule. Yeah.
Simple stuff.
Mm-hmm. Live life to the fullest. Do the thing.
There you go. That's it.
Yes.
What is it? The one and only thing I've ever heard Ted Nugent say that I agreed with. He goes, there's going to be a point A and a point B. Point A is the day you're born. Point B is the day you die. In between is just maximum. live, kick maximum ass, just go out and live. And I've heard several variations of that over the years, and it's like I said, it's the only thing of Ted Nugent's that I actually believe in.
Everyone's going to get to that point B eventually. It could be sooner, it could be later. So don't count on it being later. Just live as much as you can in the now.
Exactamundo, my friend. Exactamundo.
Yes. Simple concept, just like we are.
Exactly. I love you, brother.
I love you too. This is
say it often, make it weird. It's all good.
It's not weird.
I know. Well, no, I just remember hearing somebody say we should normalize telling the people close to you that you love them.
Yes.
We've gotten so ingrained in love is for romance only. And if you tell if two guys tell each other they love each other, then suddenly it's like some sort of strange, misguided thing. I'm like, no, I love my friends. I don't care what gender they are, what gender they profess to be. It doesn't matter to me. I love my friends.
That my friends help make me who I am today.
Exactly.
They are part of my life. So yes, I love my friends, and that's when I do my updates on Facebook, I say I love you all kind of thing. I mean, whoever you are, it's as long as you're not a dick to me, I love you. It's a simple thing. See, we're simple.
It does work. It really, really works. So
yeah.
So as of yesterday, both of my children are no longer in high school.
Wow.
As of yesterday, I mean, my daughter graduated in 19, and yesterday my son joined the class of 21.
Crazy.
I know. Both of my kids are young adults now.
Wow.
And they're not permanently scarred or anything. I mean, they're actually functional adults. It's kind of wild.
It's crazy. I got a few years still.
I'm so proud of him. My poor boy was in vapor lock most of the day. Now he's had this 11-month online romance part in his gaming circle with this young lady from Kentucky. And, they talk all the time. They'd video chat. They would spend a lot of time together. They would go on virtual dates where they would game together and relax and, have a good time. I think even if I remember correctly, he ordered her food like from a delivery service near her house and vice versa.
Awesome.
I think that's a story that I heard. I'm not sure. But she actually came up.
That's awesome.
To spend the week with him and to attend his graduation. So I got a chance to meet her Saturday night. Sweet girl. And then this coming Friday, I'm going to pick them both up, spend the day with them, take them to lunch, and then I'm taking them to the airport. And he's going down to Kentucky to meet her family and hang out down there for a week.
Getting serious.
He's having an adventure, man.
Hey, good for him. I mean, I'm happy for him. I mean, Ian deserves. He's a good kid. So
he's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But yesterday was interesting. There was a panic moment before the ceremony. He was cleaning up his big bushy beard, and then was distracted by something, and he ended up talking to Miku, his girlfriend there, and then went back to shaving his beard, and not realizing he had not put the guard on the razor.
Oh no!
So he took a chunk out of the side of his beard, and he went into panic mode. And he tracked down his friend Brooklyn, and she, because she is an up and coming, she's working on being able to do hair and haircuts and stuff like that. And
beauty school dropout, not a beauty school dropout,
not a beauty school dropout. She too herself graduated over the weekend from her own high school.
Nice.
And she cleaned him all up, so now he went from having a full beard to a goatee.
Okay.
With his long curly hair and a goatee, he looked kind of badass. I will admit, and I will say it with pride. He looked really cool.
But it was good. I got where'd it go?
A couple that I posted on Facebook yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I think with all the hair, I kind of with all the hair, I kind of missed that it was more of a goatee now.
Right here, I'll show you a funny picture the two of us took after the ceremony, and you'll get a good look at him without the sides of his face there. The teachers were wondering where Ian got his twisted sense of humor from, and then the two of us started talking to each other, and they realized very quickly, oh, you're the source of that, Mr. Frank. Yeah.
I'm probably own up to that. Yes.
But he got his name called, and he went across, and he got his diploma, and he stood in the middle of the stage to have his picture taken. And you could just see him kind of staring into space at one point as he's in complete vapor lock, like this is really happening. And then he finally snaps out of it and goes about his business. Erica, his mother, you know what? she really pulled up a huge one for this kid. The family, we all got together at Red Robin in Greece after the ceremony.
Yum.
Right. And it's one of his favorite places. He picked it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were only able to have like 8 or 9 people in the audience for the actual ceremony, but we expanded out to about 20 for the after party, basically. A lot of other people who couldn't make the ceremony were able to make it there. And Erica arranged with the teacher who changed Ian's life, his 5th and 6th grade teacher, this woman named Mrs. Burke, who he, to this day, he still thinks is a saint walking on earth. He was, and our family is so grateful for this woman, the right teacher at the right time. He had these first 4 or 5 years of his educational existence being a young child, and he was just treated like shit by a couple of his teachers. He was turned into that kid because they didn't understand his learning. He had a couple of learning disabilities.
Right.
They were minor, but they were enough to really cause issues for this child.
Right.
And they treated him like shit because they didn't want to take the time to understand his frustrations and understand his needs. And then he showed up at number 7 school, 5th grade. He transferred into the school, and he met this woman, and she was amazing from the first moment he ever met her. And she changed his life and taught him to have confidence, taught him to believe in himself as a student. And family, we can be very supportive, but after a while, we lose a lot of traction in being supportive family members, because he was not willing to believe it, but for this woman, he did it.
Okay.
And then blessings, aplenty. He not only had her for 5th, he had her for 6th grade because teachers will cycle with certain classes.
Okay.
And she was getting close to retirement, so she just chose to keep staying with that particular group of children. And she goes down in history as one of his favorite all-time human beings ever.
Wow.
And he had not talked to her in quite some time. He ran into her briefly at a movie theater a couple of years ago, just as he was getting ready to leave U Prep for Arcadia. And he was so thrilled. And Erica still had her phone number in her phone from when this woman was his teacher.
Wow.
So a couple of weeks ago, Erica called me up and she's like, I made a phone call. I said, she was to Mrs. Burke. I said, okay, cool. How's she doing? Well, we're going to talk to her about it at Ian's graduation. She was the surprise guest.
Wow.
And we arranged it so he had his back to the door so he would not see her walk in. and it was great because at one point he's sitting there, my dad is between us, and I'm so the 3 Frank boys, and that always makes Ian happy when he has all 3 generations of Frank boys with him. And he's just sitting there, and then suddenly Erica taps me on the shoulder and points, and she goes, get your camera out. And Ian looks over me and is like, what's wrong? I said, I want to get a reaction shot from you. And he goes, reaction for what? I said, when you say hi to Mrs. Burke. And he looks at me, he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then she Gibbs slapped him across the back of the head, right? This woman is so perfect. I love this woman so much. She Gibbs slaps him across the back of the head, and his eyes go bug-eyed wide, and he starts smiling like, oh my God. And then he gets up, and this is the first time she's seen him in a couple of years. The last time she saw him, he was a good 6 feet. Now he's a good solid 6'4", right? So he turns around, he gets out of the chair, and she goes, oh, Mamma Mia, look at this boy, right? As he keeps going up, right? He's getting taller by the second, and they hug, and that was it. That was the moment for him where everything crystallized into, this wasn't just another day. It wasn't just a stupid ceremony. It wasn't just something stupid school thing. He had achieved something, and his favorite teacher ever came out of the woodwork to congratulate him. And this boy lost it right in the middle of the Red Robin. He started crying.
I get props for that one. Then
I'm telling you,
there's sometimes they're rare and few and rare, but that was a good one there.
Beautiful move. I give Erica the full and unmitigated credit. It was all her. She made that happen. And it was such a momentous moment for that boy.
That's
and
awesome.
It meant the world to him. And I started crying like an idiot because he was crying happy tears. And then she starts crying. And then my mom and Mrs. Burke loved each other because they were cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. To say that Mrs. Burke was basically an African-American version of my mother is probably fairly accurate. The two of them are 2 peas in a pod. Their ethics, their approach to teaching, the way they address children, their professionalism, and their height was basically really.
So they're really close. Yeah, they're really
and I remember when I first met Mrs. Burke, I could just feel like I was like, this is like a version of my mother, because my mother was a school teacher for 37 years. And just is such a wonderful human being.
You get you get the vibe off of people. You know, someone who really loves what they're doing, who really cares. You get that vibe, versus the ones who kind of are there just because.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so that it made for just a wonderful evening. And then she sat with my mom, and the two of them talked shop for about an hour, and drank wine and giggled, like a couple of old classmates. It was adorable.
It's awesome.
And my dad was there, and my former father-in-law and his wife were there, and a couple of Erica's brothers were there, and their respective significant others. It was, Juno, please stop. I'm not here to play with you, right? And she keeps trying to chew my hand for some reason. Stop that, baby.
So it sounds like overall it was a very good evening.
It was a lovely evening. And Jules and Ian were getting along, which is something they don't do very well often these days.
They'll go through, when they get older, they'll get along better.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's a phase. It's a teenage phase, because I didn't get at the time. I didn't get along with my siblings, and you live with them all your life, and you just need a break. But yeah, so that's awesome.
So it was definitely a good night. And then I went home and I kicked my shoes off and I sat on my chair and I drank a cup of tea and I just thought about, what these kids mean to me, my two rugrats of doom.
Yes. Two young adults.
Two young adults. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I know. It is crazy watching kids grow in general. I mean, I'm watching my boys grow, and it's seeing them become more and more, themselves, as they get older and older and everything. And it's very, I'm dying to not dying, but I can't wait to see what how they turn out when they're older and everything, I'm just like I'm sure you were hoping and leading them on the right path.
Yeah.
Hoping that, hopefully, you're doing the best you can, at least get them a positive environment, and give them the opportunity to succeed as they get older. So that's.
And I tell you, Erica and I, we beat ourselves up because we know that the true volatility of our relationship did cause issues for both children. And if we could take it all back and found a different way to do it, we would. We acknowledge the fact that the 3 years that we've been apart now have been the most peaceful, and for both kids, they acknowledge the difference in both of their parents. And so I'm hoping that, I can be the dad that they've always deserved to have. And Erica can be the person she's always been meant to be, or at least she's moving in that direction, so that, the kids can see us for who we are, not for this just stressed out, upset and emotionally hurt versions of ourselves.
You guys had needed to get away from each other.
We did. We really did.
Yeah, and it was definitely better once you guys physically separated.
It was so nice to hug Erica at the ceremony. And congratulations. Look, both of our kids are now successful, graduated young adults.
Yep.
And they're moving into the world, and they're going to take on college adventures in time, and they're going to take jobs, they're going to do trips, they're going to meet people, they're going to go, and this is where life really truly starts to begin for both of them at this point.
Ian's traveling to Kentucky to meet the girl's parents there. Come on.
Seriously.
There. Come on.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And she's a doll, his girlfriend. I'm just going to put that out there. She's a sweetheart. Cute little thing.
I would expect nothing less from Ian. I mean, come on. He's just
he picks some good, both of my kids have really good tastes in friends.
Good.
They've like Jules's friends are absolutely hilarious. The girls they all treat me like I'm their dad. So it's adorable, and then the boys are goofy as hell and just hilarious. And then you never know what you're going to get. And some of them will set me up to tell them a story from when I was their age. And they're all just like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's when I tell you guys you're all amateurs, I really do mean it.
Sit back, like, take notes.
One of them turned to Jules and said, "Your dad is a god." I went, "Oh God, no, I'm not."
Not quite like that, but
not quite like that.
We went through a lot, though.
Yes, we have.
We've done a lot. We've been through a lot, and that's why partly why we're doing this.
Yes, so we can So we can talk about those adventures and share if you want to call it wisdom, you're welcome to.
I was thinking about that. I don't know if I call it wisdom. I was thinking we impart our experience anyways. I don't know if it's wisdom, but this is what we did.
I was having a heart-to-heart with Juliana actually on the drive to the graduation ceremony yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And because she was trapped in the car with me, and so therefore she couldn't walk away. And I said, Jules, I need you to understand something. I don't want you to think I'm trying to tell you how to live. What I'm doing is telling you that I'm seeing you in situations that I have some experience in. And from my personal experience, I know that I've made similar decisions to the ones you are making or are going to make, and they blew up in my face.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to learn from my mistakes and make better decisions. Now, having said what I said, if you turn around and say, screw you, Dad, I know what I'm doing, and you go off and you do the same thing and it blows up in your face, then I reserve the right to say I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be no punishment. It's not going to be like I'm going to ground you or say you can't live in my house anymore or some stupid bullshit like that. But I want you to understand that when I'm trying to help you as your father, it's because I know what I'm talking about.
We don't know everything, but we've been through a lot.
Yes, we have.
Yes. Too much sometimes, but yeah.
It's kind of weird, kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on all the stuff that we've been through, it's I mean, I can't even say it. After high school, I mean, it definitely did not turn out the direction that I thought it was going to be.
No, neither of us did the patterned 4 years and out thing on college.
Yeah, it didn't work out for me. 4 years did not work out.
And honestly, that's going to work in my children's favor because, my mom, God bless her, I don't think she quite understands because she comes from an entirely different era, a different generation. Her father, my grandfather, was the only one of 8 to have gone to college and successfully graduated, right? And he understood the value of education, and I understand the value of education. I appreciate it. But he made sure that my mom and my uncle went to college, got their degrees, he wanted to make sure my mom, more than anybody, knew how to take care of herself, because of course she grew up in an era where, women are still secondhand citizens in the era she grew up in. And
I could never think of your mom as secondhand.
Oh God, no, she's a force of nature.
I know, my gosh.
But it helps set the stage for the generations that we grew up in, where we are more open to the idea that all human beings, regardless of gender or identity, should have an opportunity to excel and be happy. But aside from all that, and she went on to not only get her bachelor's but her master's, and she was a teacher for 37 years. So for her, education is the golden ticket to everything, the golden ticket to the world. And so when my children struggled often through their educational experience, she was just hard pressed to kind of get behind that, and rightfully so, especially because when Jules was in high school, my mom was underwriting all of that.
Yeah.
Jules went to Aquinas, and that was not cheap.
No.
And so, she needed to understand that there was a high value support behind that. But as far as my mom was concerned, they needed to, as soon as they graduate from high school, they need to be in college. They need to be studying. They need to be working on their degrees. They need to be, making progress. We don't live in a world that's feasible anymore.
No, it's a much different world, and you have to be. It's not everybody knows what they want to do, what they're going to do, and it's a very different world from when we graduated from high school.
Yeah, I mean, I've in the several discussions my mother and I have had about it. I even told her one time. I said, "Look, if I'd had the option to have a gap year, I would have taken it." Because as soon as I got to Fisher, my freshman year, that fall of 1988. I was into classes, but I suddenly realized that I had made several mistakes in my choices. And then along the way, I discovered all of the social aspects of being on campus in college. And networking and meeting people and talking to people and working with people and hanging out with people was a lot more interesting to me than classwork.
Of course. Especially
when the classwork was not really appealing to what I wanted to do. I wanted to get into broadcast journalism. I wanted to even think about film school, but my intro to communications class should have been renamed Intro to Advertising because my professor was working on his PhD in advertising and advertising communications and marketing.
Yeah.
And that's not what I wanted. I didn't want it. I didn't have a head for that sort of thing, and I didn't want to be in it.
Right.
I'm the creative spirit, not the selling spirit. Anyway, if
Yeah.
I'd had a chance to take a year off and think it through and work and get a job and you know, kind of get my head straight and figure out what I wanted to do, I would have made several different decisions. I'm pretty sure of it, but I didn't have that opportunity.
I would have made some slightly different decisions too. I mean, I a lot of ways I wish I didn't go to GMI. I wish I didn't jump into this electrical engineering course because computers were my forte.
Yes.
And I was so naive at that point. For some reason, I was equated computers to electrical engineering. And that was not even anywhere close. If I had stayed at MCC, as I was registered to do, then I probably would have been on the 4-year track. I probably would have done that, and I might have gone to Brockport right away, and just figured out right away that computer is not electrical engineering is what I was meant to do. But so I gained a lot of valuable life experience going the path I did.
Yes, same here. A lot of how to interact with people. Well, what happens when you're in the middle of drama.
Yeah, and I think we talked about some of this before, but
yes.
Who knows what would have happened otherwise? I mean, I don't know where I would have ended up, what I would have been doing, if I had graduated in 2 years versus 4 years versus 9 years, who knows what would have happened. But I ended up working at Tops for years. I worked at Darien Lake for years, and just working in those different environments with people. I mean, it helped me as a person, but yeah, I mean, it would have been easier if I had done something different. So I kind of it is what it is today, obviously, because my TARDIS doesn't work yet, and I can't find a DeLorean to buy. So it's for what it is what it is right now. But yeah, I mean, you still always got to wonder what would have happened if. But
the what if game is strong when you've had a lot of chaos in your life.
Yep.
The what if game becomes impossible when you become a parent.
Yes,
because I know we've talked about this before, but I can just imagine, like, if I had an opportunity to go over and start over again, as attractive as it is, I wouldn't take it, because then I lose Ian and Jules the way they are right now, and that's just I'll go through all that hell to get him back. It
has to be the exact same moment to get it's but yeah, well, that's the problem with Back to the Future. When I was thinking we were doing the podcast, is that they'd have had to do the exact same stuff to have the exact same kids, but anyways, but yeah, so it's but yeah, I mean, but it's still always a part of me is gonna wonder what if type of thing. But I mean, definitely it's different. If you're in a better part of your life, then it's
we also have strong imaginations, you and I, as writers, as creators, as people who have created videos and things like that. We have these wild imaginations. We love our sci-fi and fantasy, so it's easy for us to get lost in those kind of thoughts.
Oh yeah,
and those considerations, where folks who are not as prone to left brain thinking, it's more they're more analytical. They're probably not going to consider it too much as we would.
Right. You gotta have that imagination, though. And the imagination helps to think about it. I always love the movies where they do that, change your past, whatever. I love the time travel movies, Doctor Who, but I love the movies where they go back and they change things, or they, whatever. There's tons of ones that like that. But yeah, it's part of the, imagination and the whole what if. Imagination's important.
It is.
And that's why I'm glad I got into reading early, because that just opened up my imagination to all these other worlds that, exist on the pages of books. And I love those worlds.
There you go. I'm with you on that one, man. I am with you on that one.
Yes.
So and there we are, wandering around.
Yeah, wandering dudes.
Wandering dudes.
Where should we wander to next?
That's an interesting question because I know there's a lot of different things. I mean, it really, because of yesterday, I really do feel like my chunk of the family right now is exhaling at the moment, because getting Ian to the finish line was a little bit of a challenge because he kind of gave up in a couple of places. We really had to kind of push him kicking and screaming across the finish line in some places. And he actually did not qualify for graduation until Friday afternoon when he finally turned in a report and turned in an assignment that should have been turned in several weeks earlier. I mean, we really were, our teeth were gnashing. We were gnashing teeth. There was a lot of chattering going on. But to have that done and it is over with, and he has paper and everything to prove it. It's a matter of now, okay, our family's kind of going, okay. And I told him, I said, look, as far as I'm concerned, you are officially off duty for a couple of weeks at the very least.
Yep.
So I know you're going on your trip, and when you come back, there's people going to be like, well, now you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. Don't worry about it. The world is out there. You'll figure it out. I'm not gonna stress about it right now.
Do it right rather than just do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it to do it. Do it to do it right.
Exactly. I am a strong proponent of doing it right rather than doing it right now.
Right, because then
unless you can do it right and right now at the same time, then by all means.
Well, yeah, but don't do it just to do it. Make sure that it's the right thing, or if make sure this feels right and you're doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly,
and not just because someone tells you have to do something else. But,
it was weird because for a few days there, it just felt like the rest of the world melted away. I was not paying attention to anything. I was not paying attention to local politics. I was not paying attention to, global politics. I wasn't aware of what was going on. As far as concerning everybody lives today. That's because I wasn't paying attention, to anything else other than that. I did a little bit of yard work. I'm slowly becoming one of those people like, get off my lawn, kids, kind of a guy. Because I take so much time to actually work on it. I understand why old men get cranky about their yards because of the amount of effort I've been putting into mine lately.
It can take a while, yeah.
Yeah. And, so I guess this week I'm going to start refocusing myself back onto what's going on around me. And then today that threw me off. The first phone call I got was from my primary care physician's office. Yes, we're going to be scheduling you an ultrasound. Why? I'm not pregnant was the exact. I'm like, I'm not. Wait, what? I'm not pregnant. What the hell? And she chuckled. She goes, no, did you not get the email from your doctor? And I'm like, well, I saw that I got a message from him last night, but I have not had a chance to read it. Oh, well, he's got concerns with this, and this. And so we want to get an ultrasound, to gauge this and see what's going on. I'm like, oh. Okay. All right. She goes, we just sprung that on you, didn't we? I said, yeah, kind of. She goes, okay. Well, do you want me to do the scheduling for you? I'm like, sure. Is it possible to do this on a Saturday or maybe after hours? Because I've been taking a lot of vacation time and I'm running out of it. And work is starting to notice that I've been out of the office more often than not lately. She goes, well, I'll see what I can do. So I go to work at 8. This thing's going to be at 7:00 in the morning on Friday, the July 9th.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, and this is what you have to do. Here's the preventative stuff. Here's what you got to do. You can't eat anything after midnight. Well, she goes, well, if it's going to be 7 a.m., you can't eat anything after 11 a.m. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. You have to wake up an hour early. You need to drink 16 ounces of water in the hour before the appointment. What? And she goes, and then you need to hold it. I wouldn't, what? I'm a middle-aged man. I can't hold that much water for that long. She goes, I know, but you're going to have to give it a shot. I'm like, I'm going to pee myself. She starts laughing. She goes, you'll be fine. Trust me. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, this is quick.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So,
I have to, I got a CT scan in July, and I have to be there like 75 minutes ahead of time and to drink this big giant liquid stuff of whatever their dye stuff so they can see what's going on in my body and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that on the 15th, I suppose.
Your colonoscopy, you don't do that.
Oh, you do that prep stuff so they clean you out, though, right?
Yeah, they clean you out. You don't, so you're empty when you get there.
Okay, all right.
They go in that back channel there, and they take some nice pictures for you. I got a nice picture for mine. It's really lovely.
But, I'm sure. Tubular, man. Very tubular.
Literally, yes. But yeah. But at least you're knocked out for that colonoscopy there. So
yeah, no, seriously.
I mean, I have to go in and for again on the 20th to see my normal surgeon. He's gonna go in on he goes in a little bit to check things out, and I'm awake for that one. Like, ooh, it doesn't feel nice.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because of you.
No, I've had to go through it a couple times already. So it's
my stars!
Third time. So yeah. Welcome to my life. Well, I did my little thing on my little I wonder thing on Facebook. What are my large intestine is thinking right now?
What's going on?
You haven't used me in months. Don't you love me anymore?
I feel so lonely.
I don't know. I was wandering around this morning. Just started like, okay, I don't know. What did my large intestine think?
Only you. Seriously, only you would come up with that.
And it's all part of, just, I've been sharing, and it's just like, okay, this is, you gotta laugh. Life is too short. You gotta do the thing. You gotta laugh.
You gotta laugh at it.
It's
the improbability of it all.
I'm gonna get through this. I'm lucky that it's not worse than it is. So I have to, it's hard, but I have to still laugh because life is too short to not laugh. And I was trying to think because I know somebody who knows somebody who's basically probably terminal. And like, what would I think? How would I feel if I didn't catch this early enough? And I was basically going to be potentially terminal. What would how would I react to that?
I couldn't even imagine.
And I'm like, it's, but then I'm thinking, how did I react to get cancer in general? And I say, okay, well, maybe I don't know. I'm not, maybe I could deal with it or not, but it's, it's something you don't want to deal with, but when the end comes, I'm hoping that I can, get there as gracefully as I can.
Right.
But, but it's just, it's the whole mortality thing, but and I hope I can go there with a smile. I hope I can at least bring some laughs at the end kind of thing, whenever I get to that point.
It is the cruelest facet of humanity, though. The human condition, the mortality aspect of it. I mean, that's one thing. But, if you're lucky, you get 70, 75, 80 years, 90 years. Some folks are blessed to get to 100. That's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not enough. That's me just
getting warmed up.
Yeah, I know.
But then your body fails you. It's like
it's just insane. I wish you give me 200 at least. Give me 200, maybe 250. Yeah. Then I could probably wrap my brain around the fact that billions of years of history are going to happen without me.
Right. We'll never get to the stars. No. With any luck, at least we'll see people get to Mars in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's possible. Actually, it's getting more and more possible every year.
Yeah, and that's exciting right there. So
it is.
If people get back to the moon, I'd love to see that stuff. I know we'll never get to the stars, but I'd wish that someday humanity can figure out some sort of warp drive or something like that to get there.
That'd be cool.
Some sort of faster than light travel or something, but. That's all the science fiction,
Humanity also needs to do a big chunk of getting out of its own fucking way.
Yeah. We need to be able to work together. We need to be able to do the thing and not be a dick.
Exactly.
See,
exactly. I mean, the sheer hatred that is out there right now for all of the weirdest reasons.
Oh, it's stupid.
Because you think differently than I do. I hate you. What?
Yeah. And it's just more and more prevalent these days. I mean, it's like you can't work with anybody. I mean, that's not going to politics really now, but just on the surface, it's just I'm not going to do this because you're not part of my party or something. It's like it's
so insane.
It's like it's so why insane. Why are you being a dick about that? Because it's
obviously not a member of our church.
No, they don't. They have to change their ways before they become members. So we have to come up with a not a dick test. That sounds kind of weird.
Not a dick test.
I think we might have to call it something else. I don't know, but
yeah. No, I think we stick with it. Not a dick test.
It's easier for women to pass that, but
Oh, Madonna mia.
But yeah, I mean, it's why can't people not be dicks? Why can't they? Why? It's.
Yeah. We cannot look after the greater good because reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, yeah. We got to work more on the Church of the Wandering Dude here. I think we need to make more, come up with a little bit more to it. I mean, a little more substance at least. Kind of. Come up with talk about our two commandments there.
Yep.
What they mean.
Book 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Dan said, "Don't be a dick."
And I was going to say, and then a part of his body said, "Huh?" Oh my gosh!
Yes. On that happy and pious note, hey!
So how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, thank you. I got to get some acupuncture for my knees again because that really worked. As much as I hate needles, there's this person who does acupuncture on the east side of the city, and she's fantastic. And like my knees feel good for like weeks. But now the arthritis,
the aerating your body works.
Exactly. Yes.
You aerate your lawn. You can aerate your body. So overall, it's a good thing.
My chi.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Aeration is good.
I'm gonna have my back work done before and after convention weekend this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
convention weekend's looking better all the time.
What Cominator, he released the hounds today.
Yeah. Yep,
all the restrictions are off now. I mean, are we still going to be bound to certain rules like vaccinations and masking and stuff like that?
I mean, it's not as straightforward as that. But like he said, all of the state restrictions are gone. The federal ones are still there. Okay. I think there is still some masking stuff.
Okay.
Or the social distancing, but there's a lot less of it.
Well, that's good. That's a start.
That's good. There's still the whole problem with kids aren't vaccinated. So until they come up with a safe one for that, there's still going to be some question there.
Yeah.
But overall, things are looking a lot better. And the fact that when 70% of the adults are vaccinated, that should help overall with everybody. So I'm looking forward to it, and maybe we can have. I don't know if we have to have a vaccination. I don't know. I still don't know what we're going to do for September as far as what we need to do for COVID. But
I'm sure the answers will present themselves in time. The answers will present themselves, and then we'll present them to people. We
will be working with city and the state and whatever to figure out the right answer for that. But our plan is to have a fun convention, and it looks better all the time. So
right.
I'm excited about that, and we got some good guests, and I think we have at least a bunch more guests that should be hopefully solidify soon, and so it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an experience.
It's definitely going to be an experience, that's for sure. We're going to have ourselves a good time. I'm positive of that. We always have a good time. Convention weekend.
Definitely. Yeah.
We always have fun. We're going to have the food trucks, and we're going to have vendors, and we're going to have the panels as we always do. There's going to be the cosplay stuff. And
I love the cosplay. Cosplay is.
I am so looking forward to seeing what people like, because I know the cosplayers are just looking for a reason to show off, because they've probably been like hibernating, trying to put stuff together, and they deserve that opportunity to kind of get it all back out into the open again and see what happens.
Yeah. And we might have a little event in the beginning of August.
Okay.
At the mall, we're still confirming that, but I think that's probably going to be a go. So there's gonna be a little event there, and it's mostly going to be just vendors, but at least you can cosplayers want to come and show in costume and just hang out and everything. We'd love to hang out with them. And I think we talked about maybe doing another just a hangout type of thing like we did last summer.
Yeah, that seemed to be fun. Everybody got a chance to see each other for a moment. That was kind of cool.
And especially with the restrictions gone. for the most part, then
that'd be nice.
it'd be even a more fun hangout. Just to, go to a park or something and just say, we'll be here at such and such place for this, these few hours. Come on, hang out. Bring your costume, whatever, do whatever, and just let's just have fun. But yeah, but then convention weekend's going to be fun. It's going to be
convention weekend is going to be entertaining.
It's going to be
on so many different levels.
Totally new venue, total sports experience. So we got turf. We're gonna be on the turf.
Like Larry Miller in the 5 stages of drinking. Level 2, you're arguing for AstroTurf. Level 3, you're arguing against AstroTurf. Level 4, you are AstroTurf.
Oh, jeez. But so, anyways,
yeah.
So that's what's coming up.
So we got a lot going on, man.
Yeah,
we do. As always, we have a lot going on, and this is going to get interesting in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. It is more interesting every day. So
yes, that is for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else is going on? What else are we doing?
I'm trying to think at the moment. Really,
I've been, running a lot. I'm definitely running a lot less than I have in previous years, but I'm still moving, which is good.
Well, that's good
because I love my running, even though
that's part of your stress relief.
That is, yes,
right.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've put on several miles over the years to blow off steam when you've needed to.
Oh yeah. I usually listen to books on tape or books on audiobooks. It's more because they're not on tape, obviously.
Yeah,
audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks as I run. So that's usually sometimes I listen to music depending how I feel, but a lot of times it's audiobooks. But yeah, it's my time to get away, and if the weather's nice, I love running through the park. And I have just gotten so in the moment where I've looked at like, where the heck am I? I'm in the park. I'm like, oh, where am I?
I can see that happening too. It's like, where? What? I don't know where I am.
I'm like miles into the park, and where am I? And I've run through this enough where I figure it out soon enough. But it's just like you get that moment. Like, I mean, if you ever done it when you're driving, which is scary when you're driving.
Yes.
Like, whoa, where am I?
How did I get here?
Yeah, that's the scary part of it in the zone when you're driving. But, that's my thing there.
Excuse me.
And I'm looking forward to potentially I'm looking forward to another surgery coming up eventually. So
this is definitely going to be a positive experience. I'm hoping that everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So, and then, hopefully I'll have that done before FC3 there. So,
okay.
Other than that, we're just working, and kids got their stuff going on. Summer's coming up. We got lots of stuff going on. We're going away to Pennsylvania for a week, and I'm going to send both kids out to an overnight camp. It's like Camp Stella Maris for a week.
Oh boy.
So they've never done anything like that before, either one of them. So we're sending both of them away in the first week of August, but they're excited about it. So,
well, as long as Josh is excited about it, because I know he can be very reticent about stuff like that. Because adventure is not normally his thing. I've noticed. It
depends on the adventure. They have a couple friends that are going down too. So,
all right.
The boy, there's a boy Zach's age, so they're potentially going to be together. The trouble is that Josh's friend is a girl. So they won't be bunking together, but hopefully they can at least do things together. They're still hopefully they can maybe reduce some of the COVID restrictions they're putting in place for this, but so they can at least play with each other a lot. But one of his good friends is a girl, and they play a lot together. So
awesome.
So he's excited, because they're going to be down there. That helps to Zach and Josh to be excited about it. So we're hoping that he can at least play with her and stuff and see her. But we visited the camp. There's a lot of neat stuff down there. So it looks,
Stella Maris. Nice. I always heard a lot of good things about Stella Maris. It's one of those.
It felt very well run, well organized. They have a lot of activities. It's right on the water. So they have a nice bridge over the road because on one there's a road there, and the camp is on the one side, and water on the other side, so they have their own bridge to get over the road, so the kids don't have to worry about traffic and stuff.
Okay.
But it felt, we went down there last week, and we got a tour from one of the girls who works there in the summer, and it was yeah, I mean, it felt very organized and very, they know what they're doing. They've been there for a while, so.
Mm-hmm.
And even with COVID, there's a lot of stuff there, so they're both kind of excited about it. So
good deal. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I hope that's a good positive experience for the both of them.
I hope so too. And it's only half an hour away too, so if something does go wrong, then it's not as if it's hours away.
Right.
Like next summer, Zach might go to Boy Scout camp, which is in the Adirondacks. So if anything's wrong with that, that's a little bit more. If he goes down by himself, it's
right. It's going to be a little more dicey.
Yeah, I mean, I might go down with him next summer. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But,
okay.
But yeah. So yeah, there's stuff going on. The kids are growing up.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I remember, life seemed to be taking forever when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, years would just kind of creep by, and then you have kids, and
you blink and you miss it.
Wow. Honestly,
mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's weird. I mean, it's your kids especially. I mean, they're 18 and 20,
19.
right? 19,
18 and 19.
18 and 19.
She'll be 20. Jules will be 20 in November.
Okay, almost 20. That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's 20 years ago. We were living together,
Yeah.
Just about, a little about, yeah.
No, seriously.
And,
not wrong.
That was a long time ago. Jeez, how'd that happen? How did that be 20 years ago?
It was your fault.
It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
In my defense, I was left unsupervised. The only thing I can say.
I know, it's my fault. But that's crazy that it was that long ago that we had our place.
Yeah.
That was
it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, does it?
It was a fun place, except for our neighbors who wouldn't let us do any kind of noise at all.
I know, seriously. I mean, we would have chats, and we would just be talking to each other, and they'd start knocking on the wall.
The one side there was, oh my gosh, make any noise. Yeah. But we made it to a few parties.
But the other side had the cute kids. They loved the fact that we were like kids at heart, right?
Yeah, they were good. One side was good. The other side was.
We were the crazy uncles.
Yes. So that it was fun. I liked the place. It was a nice place.
Yeah.
And
definitely worked.
Yeah,
it was nice,
and we had fun there.
We did. So
I left you unsupervised.
It's all your fault, Dan.
I'm sorry, Chris.
I'll try to forgive you.
But you have Chris. You have Ian and Jules.
I do. So I really do. Yeah, it's like I said, the what if game. You can't play it after a moment, a certain moment in time.
Yeah.
When that moment occurs, the what if game comes to an end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we move on.
We do.
We move on, and we have other adventures.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm making a time machine. I could still sneak back in time, invest in like Apple without telling myself, and then and then in 20 years, be surprised that you have all this stock or something, I could do that. I could do that without messing up stuff, So
I'd be perfectly fine with that myself as well. Yes, that would be a good thing to do. Anything I can turn around. Could I retire so I can spend my life running conventions and writing books and playing D&D? That would be wonderful.
I'm gonna go invest. I'm gonna invest back in Disney when it first is opened, and invest back in Apple when they're first,
Apple, Microsoft.
Put them under a managed account, and then and when I'm an adult, suddenly I found out I have this money.
Get on the ground floor of Facebook.
Yeah, there's little minor things there.
Google.
Just, invest a little money in each of those. I put my money in a fruit company. Before long, I didn't have to work anymore.
That's all I gotta say about that.
That was such a great movie.
Lieutenant Dan.
It was one of those movies where it was just so neat how they weaved everything in.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Back to the Future in our podcast, and kind of, and when we get to 2 and 3, we'll talk about more of that. But Forrest Gump was just kind of neat how they weaved in history and everything. So
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and Gary, you know how Gary Sinise, who played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump, great actor, great human being, but he's made, tending to soldiers and veterans his full-time job. He just wants to be there. He wants to be supportive. He wants to draw attention to the fact that they need our support. And he's done such an amazing job. I caught a video on YouTube the other day. I don't know how old it is. It didn't check but I was just looking at it. No, it was a TikTok video where somebody had posted that he was on another base in another place, as he usually will do. And the general who was in charge of that particular area, field promoted him to Captain Dan because of all of his efforts for veterans and for soldiers and everything he's done to support the military. He is no longer Lieutenant Dan. We're going to name him Captain Dan. And awesome. And the unit went bonkers for him. And I'm telling you, if one guy deserved an honor like that, it's definitely him.
Oh, definitely. He's done. There are some good people out there that
there still are. Humanity has a lot of good people in it, man. It's just, unfortunately, the not so hot people have very loud voices at the moment.
Right. And I don't understand why we let them have loud voices.
Yeah, that's, everybody is supposed to have an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to talk. Sure, that's great. Hey, I love it. You have an opportunity to speak. But why do we give them an opportunity to be believed?
Right. Why do we? Yeah.
Education is the silver bullet, my brother. It's the silver bullet.
It's something. Yeah.
If we can fix education, which means we'd have to defeat the people with all the money, because the people with all the money like to keep us, broke and stupid.
Yep.
Then we behave better. But if we can fix education and give everybody an opportunity to be a thinker, not a follower.
Right. Think for themselves. Open their eyes and look at. Don't just believe that. Don't just take what one person says. Look around and be curious.
Yep.
And be curious and look around. And there's a world of information on at your fingertips these days with the internet. And not everybody has it, but most people do have access to it. In one way or the other, even if it's the library or something. Just look around and ask questions and
stop and think.
Think for yourselves. Don't do what someone else wants you to do. To try to think for yourselves and make sure you want to do it, not just because someone else does. And make sure it makes sense. Make sure you're not hurting anybody. Make sure you're not being a dick. It all works. Church of the Modern Dude. Just don't be a dick to anybody. Don't.
It's so easy.
Right.
And most of the disagreements these days are about, well, I don't want you to live that way. You shouldn't live that way because I don't agree with the way you live, so I don't want you to live that way. Well, then don't live that way, but leave me alone and let me live the way I want to. Let me be happy.
How is me living this way hurting you?
I don't get it.
It only hurts you if you make it, if you let it hurt you, if you try to make it hurt you. I don't.
When I made my stance as an ally, I don't ever foresee myself coming out of the closet. I'm just not in one, but that's fine. I can still be a good ally. And yes, I'll make mistakes and I'll make judgments and once in a while. And I hope that people give me an opportunity to rectify that. And
they have to be understanding too, because we haven't gone through the same experiences as they have.
Exactly, as they have. So give me an opportunity to learn and adjust my thinking. And I will defend your right to do what you want to do. But I came out as an ally a couple of years ago, and immediately, a couple of friends of ours, mutual friends of ours, are like, "Oh, are you trying to tell us something?" No, moron. Yeah. And I can't abide by people like that. Why? What are they doing to you?
I don't understand.
Do you think some gay guy is going to come into your house and redecorate it? You really could use the help. I've seen some of you.
I could use the help.
Oh my God, I've seen some of your houses. You really could use the help.
I would love that. Come on, I need the help. It's like they're not. If you have if it's a straight couple, whatever, cis couple, whatever, and you don't like the wife or you don't like one of the spouses, it doesn't affect your marriage.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, how is that different than if you don't? I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't get.
I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I don't get why people have to hate for the dumbest reasons. Yeah. Well, the Bible said so. Really? Are you sure?
The Bible doesn't address it.
It doesn't actually say that.
I mean, there's some things which I don't entirely disagree with, like the whole, like some of the sports things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sticky slope there.
That's a touchier subject, and I'm not part of it enough, and it probably depends on where they are and this and that, and but I can understand some of it, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not agreeing with them either. It's more of it needs maybe needs more conversation. If
I'm open to having the conversation and not
started as a male, but they're now female, but they got the male body type of thing. I can understand that's maybe not fair type of thing, but
I'd rather have the conversation than completely shut it down based on judging it by the cover.
It's a conversation. It shouldn't be. I mean, it's a conversation. It's something that we need to explore more and figure out what the right answer is that's fair for everybody type of thing.
Exactly.
It's
that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's simple to have a conversation if you can not be a dick. See, Church of the Wandering Dude. It all goes back.
It all fits back to Rule 1.
Rule 1.
Don't be a dick.
It's a very simple rule, and it fits in everything. It can solve. But you can have those. You can have those conversations. You can open your mind and just accept people for who they are. If they're not hurting you in any way, they're not affecting you directly. They're not making you do something that you don't want to do.
And you don't have to agree. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. They're not telling you how to live your life. They're saying, this is how I want to live my life. I'm straight. I'm going to, I like females and I always will. And, I'm not sexually attracted to males, but that's okay. That's who I am.
Exactly.
If it's a male who is, that's fine. That's who they are. But it doesn't affect me just because they do. It's yeah.
Right.
If you were raised one gender, but now you're the other gender, or you don't have a gender, or I don't know all the different combinations.
I really, it gets complicated, and I feel like it's too complicated in some cases, but you know what? I here's what I'm going to stick to. It's none of my damn business. Just tell me how you want to live and how you want to be addressed, and I'll do what I can to respect that.
And if I slip up, then forgive me.
If I slip up, just give me an opportunity to make up for it. I don't mean to be insulting. Right. I don't have to understand it. It's not. You just need to live your life, and I need to let people know to leave you the hell alone.
And from all sides, if we do slip up or we do things wrong, don't take it personally, because we're not trying. And I think, and I do sense almost some hostility from some of that.
I mean, and I get it. Here's the thing. I see it from multiple angles. When I was in an incident where I did slip up. I did. I wasn't understanding it, and I asked a question because I wanted to understand. Well, that question was misinterpreted, and somebody in the conversation tried to rip me a new one and make me feel like utter crap for being the bad guy. And I'm like, no, you need to just work with me, and I will listen. I don't have to fully understand. I don't have to agree. I will listen, but give me an opportunity so that I can respect your choices and do my best to show you that I'm trying to respect your choices.
Right. Like I said, we haven't lived what they have lived.
Exactly.
Everyone has a different life experience. Their life experience is going to be much different than ours, and I can't begin to understand, what they've gone through. If they've had to hide who they are, they don't know who they are growing up. What that does to them, I don't understand it. But they have to understand that we don't know that, so they have to give us some slack. Cut us
some slack, and we will return the favor.
Be understanding for us too, as long as we're trying to show some, understanding for them. Try to show some for us too. It goes both ways.
And I mean, I get these people. I mean, some of them can be very strong in their reaction to our ignorance to their situation, because they've had to fight for their existence.
Right.
These are people who've actually had to fight because of their existence, and I feel terrible for them. I wish that the world was a better place. I wish the world was a more understanding place, but I'm not going to get that wish, and neither are they. But what I can do is at least try to help make it more comfortable for them to be who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've been saying, if we make a mistake, just let us know, and
tell us,
and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. We want to understand,
right?
And even if we fail at understand, we're going to still try.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going to try.
And it goes for all citrus, not just the LGBTQ, whatever. I don't know all the letters anymore.
Yeah, it's the alphabet mafias, I think, what they collectively call themselves these days, and that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, but it also goes with all the race stuff too. It all goes, the black stuff. Just try to be understanding, and we all have different experiences, and everybody, you guys think of that too. You just be understanding and try to be open, and don't be a dick.
I hope for a day where all we need to do is understand that we are all human, and everything else is just variants, but
just things that make us unique.
Exactly. The things that make us unique. It's not things that make us, different is obvious, but it doesn't make one inferior or superior to the other.
Everybody's equal. No one's better than anyone else.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. It's a simple, we're all different people. We're all unique, beautiful people, and let everybody be their unique selves. And it could be a better world.
Can you imagine all the time, energy, and stress people spend on being angry and wanting to hate a group of people because they're different?
Oh my gosh!
All of that energy,
all of our wars. Yeah.
Think of all of the times somebody has killed another person because they were different.
Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous.
It saddens me.
And what harm does it really have? What harm have they really done to you?
I'm going to say that poor kid I can't remember his name. The poor kid who several years ago, he was in Colorado. He was a college student. He died because people beat the crap out of him because he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah. Why?
Wasted lives, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, on that happy note.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, it's like, we never know what we're going to end up talking about until we start talking about it.
So everybody join the Church of the Wandering Dude.
There you go.
Learn the 2 commandments. Very simple. And you'll have we almost guarantee if you can abide by those commandments, you'll have a happier life.
Seriously. I don't even think that's lying. I don't even think it's an exaggeration.
I don't think, we can't prove it yet because we don't have we don't have the test cases.
We don't have we have a church of 2 right now.
That's right.
Although I'm pretty sure we have some very, very interested perspectives that would love to join us.
So I think we need to make it. We'll work on our logo. We'll work on some more documentation there. We'll work on some stuff here. But it's a very simple church. Very simple concept. We're simple people.
We'll have a gathering at the convention.
There you go. That's right. We have a panel.
We'll have a panel at the convention where we'll talk about the religion itself. That's, oh my God. Yes, we are using our convention as a religious platform.
I don't know if that's going to cross any lines anywhere, but I don't know.
Well, we're a non-for-profit agency, and religions are non-for-profit, so it all fits off together.
But they're different type of non-profits, and I don't know.
Yeah, but we're not accepting any money.
Yeah, we're just doing a panel. This is just a panel.
And we can even say this is a satire. This for now. This is a satire of religion,
but it's real. But it's
yes, it's real to us. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but it's a real message that we're trying to do. So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is just this is fun.
The Church of the Wandering Dude panel.
Yes. So
it might happen.
Is our future podcast just going to be basically mass? Every other week, we're just going to be saying mass.
In a sense, that's what we're doing. I mean, we're trying to save the world, and I guess this is how we're going to turn out. This is how we're going to save the world.
There are people out there who feel the only answer is through religion. So, okay, fine, we formed our own religion.
This isn't what we. Wasn't what we started to do.
My God!
But
what do we get ourselves? How do we get ourselves into these things? I really want to know.
Our mouths and this stuff happens.
What was that? What'd you say?
We open our mouths and these things happen.
Oh, I know.
Let's start a convention. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Hey, I've got a great idea. Shut up. I'm not recovered from the other 2. I haven't survived the other 2 ideas yet. Don't come up with a third.
But the third will make the other 2 better.
There you go.
On that happy note. Okay, that's a good note to end.
That's a better note.
Yeah, it's a much better note to end on.
Right. I love you, man.
I love you too.
I will talk to you real soon.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
You too. All right. Bye.